Hello, are we on? Hello. So, hi. Hi everyone in the chat, and hello to the thousands of you who watch this after we finish this chat. But I'm mainly here for the chat today. Chatting Warhammer 40k. So, are we hearing? Are we loud and clear? Is everyone hi? Hands up if you can hear me. I can see you, sort of. The microphone seems to be in the right position and plugged in, and the lines are squiggling around in the general direction they're supposed to squiggle around in, but I don't know if this is too loud or too this. Mr. Consistent, says Vanguard Wargaming. Exactly. Consistency is the key when live streaming, so I'm consistently inconsistent by always posting on a Monday. It's all good. Hands are way in the air. Jack Van Horn, Fallen, Cypher, Mark Schnurenborn, Hugh Tyndall, Robert Lee, Ross David Anderson. That's a nice name. Bade Hendon, loads of people in the chat. Good to see you, and hello to the thousands that join us afterwards. Hopefully, consistency is also the key when hating Xenos. Peter, yeah, I agree, loud and clear. The king is here. I don't know. I think the king's dead. Either that, or he went back to his home planet. But I appreciate the compliment. I wanted to get online before Christmas. I said after my last live stream that it'd be nice to get online before Christmas, because I know some of you out there are like, what is this Christmas thing anyway? I know, because some of you are like me. We don't have kids, lives, hopes, dreams. Well, I do have some hopes and dreams, but we have none of that. So we went to Poland to see her families. We got nephews out there, and it's lovely, and it was snowing, and we went there last week, and it saved £1,000 because over the Christmas period, like, we can get to Poland and back on a plane in like May for like 120 quid each. No, 120 quid total, like £60 return each. It's nothing. But over Christmas, it goes up to like £400, £500. So we've done Christmas. We've seen the family. None of my family are available over Christmas because we're all over the place, and I don't have many. We have a very careless family. Many of us have fallen along the way. So some of you out there don't really care about Christmas. And is anyone out there don't care? It's just another day. I remember all those years when I was single before I met Kat. It was a long time between girlfriends. That I was a controller king on the Xbox, smashing it up on Call of Duty and Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, the first Modern Warfare, the second Modern Warfare, and Christmas was just a day when the noobs came online. It was fresh meat, boys. Meat's back on the menu, boys. I've never had children. Anyone else? Anyone else, or is this just me? Sups peeps, says Jimmy. Loud and clear and croaky. Thank you, Ben Hayden. Vanguard Wargaming just said hand. That's class right there. Mark Schurman works every Christmas, but Christmas Eve is kind of nice. Anton Avila, there's not much Xmas action in Malaysia. Wow. But not much 40k action either. Yeah, but there's great beaches. 29 now is Vanguard Wargaming. No kids, no plans to ever have them. See, children must be stopped. One day they'll take over the world, right? And this is my view on Christmas. Now, there was a time when I was like you. Christmas is good for food. Any big change to the so, yes, we'll get on to hobby stuff. But I was like you over the Christmas period when I was a child, that I believed in childish fantasies too about Christmas. I believed that there were demons in the world that could psychically tell if you'd been bad or good, and if you'd been bad, they didn't leave you presents, and if you were good, they left you presents, even if you couldn't remember if you'd been bad or good throughout that year yourself. And this demon had the power to know these things, and I believe in other countries, some unsophisticated countries like Poland, no, not Poland, why did I say Poland? Other relatives. Holland, Netherlands, that's why, because there's two names. I believe in their country, their Santa actually kidnaps kids and takes them away with them. It's a whole thing. I watched a thing on YouTube once, it must be true. So this demon does despicable things throughout the globe, and you realise when you get older and you learn the imperial truth and you learn in science and reason, science and reason, the imperial truth teaches there's no such thing as demons that can teleport, and there isn't Santa. Santa isn't real. And we embrace the Emperor's imperial truth, and we live on without dreams of demons. And then, in the future, in the dark, grim future, we learn there were really demons after all. But right now, fuck Christmas. Hugh Tyndall, £5. Thank you for your donation. Generous of you, particularly at this time of year. Have a kid, Winters. Best thing I've ever done, and also someone to play war games with when I'm an old fart. No. They're unenvironmental. I care about the environment. Doesn't everyone? I love penguins. So, if you have a child, your carbon footprint is exponentially... It's the worst thing you could do to the environment. I'm saving the planet by... I'm not exterminating them yet, but, you know, there's just one day they'll take over the world, okay? They must be stopped. Where are we? As a father of two, I completely get not having kids. Anton Avila, there we go. As my father often reminded me. Vanguard Wargaming, welcome to the 13th Tier 3. Thank you for changing to Tier 3, where you unlock the extra videos and the Discord and thing. And thank you to the one person between last time's live stream, which was like the last Monday, and then this Monday, who bought a t-shirt. One person bought some merch. The Winters SEO... so good I'm not even wearing it myself right now. But I pimped it hard on the last show. I was slinging that thing. And one person bought it. Step forward, you're a legend. And I was pimping it to your nephews and your children and your wives. And you could get them that present. And one person. Maybe I'm a bad salesman. Anyway, maybe I should wear my own merch. What else are we talking about? Where are we? There were some questions earlier on about Arcs of Omen and questions about 2023, and I'm here. Talk to me. Lead me astray. Alpha Legion Primaris. They're coming, I guess. The new Chaos kits are cool. Or they just make them big like the new Chaos kits are. Santa's not real, Ben Hayden. Yes, get over it. Come on now. What do you think of the new Mad Lad detachment? The Mad Lad detachment. You'll have to... I haven't got that one off my internet checklist of things that I know, Brap. But thanks for being in the... Winters, how happy are you? The new Arcs of Omen rules and the new detachment. Dag Gitman. Okay, so let's talk about Arcs of Omen. There are 2 new rule sets coming. 2. Not 1, 2. And you can still play Tempest of War, you can still play Open War, you can still play all the games you want to, and you can still play matched play games from the main rule book. And if you wanted to, you could play Nephilim match play. And if you wanted to, you can play Pariah. I don't know. I don't follow the match play. I haven't done match play since I won this tournament thing. Look, it's over there. I left it this time. No retreat. 2021 Legend of Legends champions. Beat some ITC people for that bitch. Come on now. Anyway, so there's loads of different ways of playing 40k, and there's 2 new ways. And in their 6 monthly match play, I think Nephilim was the last one. We have Arcs of Omen is going to be this one, and that's the one that shows that new detachment breakdown with the HQ. And then you can go, sod the troops, I'm just bringing elites, or this, or this, or this. And then on look. It's basically free-for-all tournament play for the last 6 months of the season before this season changes, the edition changes, and we hit 10th. They're saying, here's the sandbox. Those who want to go this hard at match play, go this hard. And I'm certain that certain tournaments, ITC, whatever, will actually... Not all of them, but certain one of them will definitely stay using the old Nephilim pack or revert to the main rulebook pack. Some of them, though, maybe a half, maybe 3/4 will go on the new system go on an absolute tear for the next 6 months. But that is the match play tournament competitive pack. Then there is boarding actions, a new way to play in the Arcs of Omen. Those are the monthly things coming down. The narrative, clock tick, the drum, the bell tolling, the end of this edition as we clank, clank, clang our way into 10th. And the boarding actions ones are like 500-point elite-based game things, which sound really cool. And as any one of you've watched the channel for a long time or a member of the Deployment Zone, then you'll know that I do a lot of running around in my battle reports in spaceships. Many of my campaigns have had spaceship levels set in them. And yeah, so any rule system that allows you to do that. And again, that's a completely non-narrative way, match play, skirmish level play that you can play the game. What do I say of these new rules? I say good. Where Games Workshop is getting it wrong and what they should nail the Warhammer community page with and what they should nail over social media is there's many ways to play 40k, but by nailing their tree to open play, match play, narrative play, people think that there's only 3, but there isn't. There's many ways of playing open play, there's many ways of playing narrative play, and there's many ways of playing match play. Tempest of War being one of them, Nephilim being another one of them, Octavius, was that one of them? Where's my brain going? And now Arcs of Omen is another. There's 6 monthly update things. You know, the last one that cut the CP down from 12 to whatever a turn, which you could ignore in Tempest. I get comments in the Tempest of War battle reports on the channel like, hey, you got the wrong CP. It's no, that's the rule system in Tempest. Even when people would turn up here to play and say, I got 60 CP. Why you got 6 CP? That's a battalion. Yeah, but it starts in, no, we're playing Tempest. You get your 12. So that's what happens. And Games Workshop are really bad at communicating to us all that there is many ways to play Warhammer 40k and should be celebrating the end of 9th edition instead of hiding that 10th edition is coming next year, despite all the leaks and all the rumors is becoming so much. When it's just 1 or 2 drops at your window pane, you know that it's a long way away. But when you're on the edge of the storm and those drops are coming a lot, you know it's getting closer, and Warhammer community again should be celebrating the end of 9th edition and this playground, this sandbox they've given everyone, and celebrating and teasing us already with some of the things that are happening in 10th, because there is a lull right now in the player base in Warhammer 40k, which I have not experienced before previous editions. You get a dip in the last month or so, but it's just a dip. But there's a lull right now, and it's something that Games Workshop could do a lot to address, because the end of editions, once they give us all these tools and give us all these chocolate boxes and celebrate it more and more and more, and the Arcs of Omen trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever it is, the narrative build up into the next shift, is the narrative behind that feels as good as or better than the narrative when the rift happened and falling okay. It's good standard writing stuff, the bits that I've read anyway. Probably said too much already, but it's good. And how often, on how many chats like this or on videos have I said, it's bad, this is bad, particularly through this edition. So yeah, there's something to celebrate now towards as we cruise into the end, and I think they should rip the lid off. They should rip the lid off. This has been the tournament edition, but this has forced us narrative players and open war players to make our voices heard so loudly that they came out with Tempest, and now they're coming out with boarding actions, just 500-point little skirmish things on ships, where you've got some HQ and a couple of troops, maybe an elites, and that's it. That's epic. You can play 3 of them in an evening. Bring it on. Yeah. And I guess I'm the one doing the shouting about it. Killer Kriegsman, thank you for your 200 pennies. I love you very much. Happy Christmas. If you believe in that demonic thing, teleporting, child torturing demon, or happy Sunday if you believe in the imperial truth and follow the God Emperor of mankind and realize that demons really do not exist. We know they don't exist because the Emperor said so. He wouldn't be lying to us, would he? More choice is always better, says Robert Kirby. That's 2/3 can of... So someone's drinking 2/3 of a can of Stella. You're drinking Stella. Mate, come on now. If you're at home, it's got to be a Guinness, right? Or a nice Cornish cider. Something like that if you're at home. Not lager, particularly not Stella. I mean, where do you think you are, Corfu? Maybe you are in Corfu. Robert Lee, Blessed Solstice. Yes. Robin Jones, like a larger version of Kill Team, really. You can build your armies up as boarding parties. Yes, exactly. So you've got Kill Team and Necromunda and Blood Bowl. These are all games that you play at a patrol level. These are all games that you play with basically one squad, and all of them act independently. That's what Kill Team is. That's what patrol levels. It's one squad against another squad. Then you've got skirmish level games, and they are small level games, and Games Workshop doesn't do a lot of these, but there are other game systems that do a lot of skirmish games because they don't have such a diverse range of models like Games Workshop does, or at least start off the skirmish routes. And it's a great entry drug, have this first bit of plastic. You'll like this bit of plastic. It's just an entry level. It's just a skirmish game. You only need 3 or 4 units. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then bam, you've got them, and the plastic crack addiction kicks in. And before they know it, they're 18. They've got tattoos, long hair, listening to Iron Maiden, playing Space Wolves, and they never wash. I'm enjoying a blizzard at work while listening to this. Brian Hedson, are you in one of the... I hear it's quite rough out there in the one of the colonies. There's some Arctic thing coming in. My sister lives... Well, one of my sisters lives in northern Canada, and she said it's minus 30. Which is hilarious. One could only conceive of such bitter, bitter temperatures at the very summit of Everest, surely. For those of us who like kit bash, etc., you can make them really narrative and fun. Don't know what you're talking about. Anton Avila, shout out to everyone in the UK, especially in Hertfordshire, where my younger brother is. Yeah. So where are you, Anton? Killer Griezmann, what was your plans for New Guard release next year? I suppose you're asking what my plans for the New Guard release next year. I have got some Guard. I want to do combat school with Sultan. But all the time that he's been coming around to play me recently, on camera and off camera, we've just been playing stuff that feels fun to play and that we want to play at the moment. So I must have played him 4, 5, 6 times over the last 3 or 4 weeks because he's been off work. He's between jobs. I perhaps shouldn't say this online either. Go and jump to Sultan Plays YouTube channel and give him a big sub. He's a gorgeous, intelligent, fast, athletic, strong, vital young man, the pillar of the community. And I don't know how I have ended up with such good friends. So yeah, give him a sub, Sultan Plays. And he's been off, he's between jobs, and we must have filmed about half of the 6 that we've played. And we both really want to do combat school, but there's other things that we want to do more. He wanted to play as White Scars Army a couple of times. I think we played 2 games in a day, none of them filmed, just to play against different opponents against his White Scars because he hadn't played against them very much. And then he wanted to play as Salamanders. And then, he's got so many Space Marine chapters. I mean, that guy's got an addiction. And he doesn't even play Heresy. And Heresy is a game where you only play against other Space Marine chapters, except for those tiny exceptions on the edges. Breathe. Does the missus like tabletop? No, Robert Kirky. Donut Gaming. Have a good Christmas, Winters. And all in chat. Yes, Killer Griezmann. I followed Sultan, but not so keen. Now he's printing off stuff. That's personal preference. Yes, I do know quite a few people who do print stuff, but it's interesting because the people who I know print stuff are the people who I know spend the most money on Games Workshop stuff by far. Like Sultan's got 7, 8. I mean, he's got the Admech, and he's got some Chaos. He's got Dark Eldar, and he's got like 7, 8, 9 Space Marine chapters, and the Blood Angels are over 12,000 points, and they're all painted. And sometimes a man just needs a certain type of shoulder pads, and they can't get it. Or sometimes a man just needs, hey, look, they've done 20 jump packs. Wouldn't it be cool if you start molding some other jet packs and mix it in to give them a bit of look? So most of the people I know that start off printing have started off doing that because they're the people who spend so much money. And I'd say that is the rule to almost every single printer that I've met in person. And they still spend the most money by far. So if people want to start printing off their own stuff to add to their army, all power to them. If people want to customize and get different STC files for having bikes that are floating instead of on wheels, we can make all of our riders on grav plates instead of on wheels. That's cool. You've still bought all the bodies for the things to sit in the grav plates. And if people choose on their own to go wherever they want to go with it, then who am I to judge what other people choose to do or not? Who are we to judge? What have we done? I don't want to be the judge. If someone transgresses and is caught, if someone should be their own judge. People should think about their own actions. And we should trust each other. And if someone's thought about their own actions enough to stray as far into printing and selling, and they've thought about it enough, if we trust them enough, maybe it's something they need to do to get to somewhere better. Maybe it's, I don't know. We've all been to bad places, surely. I mean, I'm 49. And for those of you sweet summer children below the age of 30 that have never stepped to those dark shores, then I hope you're one of the lucky few that never has to go deep into that water. When you come out the other side, you won't be you anymore. And you'll have all the bad bits still clinging on. Holy moly, Winters, the sky darkened so damn fast in your window. Yes, welcome to my brain. Pillars Gaming, stop spamming comment. Thank you. You just want to judge the children. You just want to judge the children. Exactly. All children must be eradicated, or one day they will take over the world. It's nearly dark in the UK now. It is, look. Are you planning on adding to more Carnifex in your Tyranny collection? Yes. I want to add 6. I've got 6 up there. I want like loads of Carnifexes going forward. They have been up there for some time because I've been working on the Necrons all this year. And look, this is the last model I need to do. So this will be finished over the Christmas period and painted. And then I can get all my Necrons out and I can have wait one. This bad boy flanked at the back, a monolith on either side of it. That's a good backdrop. Not one monolith, it wouldn't work. 2 monoliths. And sometime in the future, I might want to field 2 monoliths. Are you getting this? And then I want to do a video saying, look at all the stuff that I painted this year. Aren't I awesome? That sort of thing. But no, also talk you through my thinking process behind it. Mention as ever that the bases on the Necrons are from marchofwar.co.uk. Thank you, James, from marchofwar.co.uk for your contribution to my Necron army. And they look lovely. And get it all out and say why and how and things like that. And hopefully work as some kind of motivation, inspiration for at least one person or 2 people to fulfill their hobby ambition for the year or for the month or for the week. You know, that's what a lot of us on YouTube are doing this for. We're here to entertain and we're here to share our hobby enthusiasm with you. Most of us started this journey because we had so much enthusiasm inside of us. It's like, look, I'm playing these battles with my friends, the other SEOs, and YouTube at the moment, it still had CD case battle reports, and it still had people playing with lots of unpainted miniatures when I started. And the only ones really showing fully painted miniatures on fully painted terrain was Mini Wargaming and Striking Scorpion. And then there were numbers of other narrated battle reports, edited ones, which didn't show any dice rolling saying this happened, this happened, this happened. And that's how I started. For the first 2 years, I was just doing compilation battle reports. Yeah, and I had so much hobby in me, and we had been doing tournaments and playing. I was like, well, we're doing this. I wanted to share what we were doing with you. And here we are. We're all over you. And so I really want to get that Necron video done. So we were talking about Carnifexes. And then Horus Heresy came out. Damn Horus Heresy. Why are you so good to me? The models are awesome. I've played about a dozen games now, and they're all awesome. I haven't had one bad Horus Heresy game. Maybe I played 10. But I haven't had one bad game. Even when I got my ass kicked, the stories it was telling along the way were epic. I mean, last night I played a game with Alex SEO, and it was the Emperor's Children and the Sons of Horus in the nuclear fire of Isfahan 3. Solomon Demeter, he would be a chapter master, but Solomon Demeter of the Emperor's Children was holding off this crossroads with an unnamed captain from the Sons of Horus, the Lunar Wolves, on Isfahan 3. And Horus has sent down Calbor Hals, the bad mechs, mechanicum down onto the surface to take this crossroads. And I played the mechanicum, and Alex was playing the two loyalists. And Solomon Demeter on this flank, there was two major thrusts. And Solomon Demeter, with some backwards and forwards, shut that down, got inside his Rhino with his two remaining surviving Rhino Land Raider, and then got out in turn 6 because it was a turn 6 game. And between him and the two other members of his team, cleared off the final 2 objectives and won the game. And I lost like 9-2. But it was epic. And I didn't film that game. And we both wanted to. And everything was painted. Because marchofwar.co.uk is doing the bases for them. And I still haven't got them. And Rue, thank you for your £5 Christmas donation. I love you, Rue. And James, if you're in the chat, or anyone in James's chat on March of War, poke him and say, where's Winter's bases? Because as soon as I can get them done, I can start filming this stuff. It's epic. Cademan Holland, hi Winters, discovered you in 2020 and you helped me get into 40k and survive lockdown. So thank you much and happy holidays. Thank you for your donation. Yeah, 2020 was a rough one for me in more ways than one, but we've all got to the other side now. We're all in better places. I hope so. And thank you for your donation. And thank you, YouTube community. Thank you for being here this year. My channel has continued to grow. Memberships are now a thing, and you can become a member, tier 1, and it just shows your support. You get some badges. Tier 2 unlocks the Discord. Maybe you've had enough of my videos, and also I'm just one of many. And so you don't really want any more videos, but you want to join the Discord, then you can become tier 2. And then tier 3 is all the extra videos and joins the Discord. And that's the best way to support me these days. And so thank you for people who have come that way as well. And thank you to everyone who's liked, shared, subscribed, or even watched one of my videos in 2022. I would not be here without you, and I appreciate you very much. 2022 was nasty. Next year will be much better. That's always. Next year can be better. Will be better. Next year can be. Yeah, 2022 was pretty nasty for me as well in a number of ways. But looking back, I'm in a better place than I was at the start of the year. And as the channel continues to grow, I'm getting in a better and better place. And Sam Nash, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. It wasn't a plea for help. It was an honest thank you. And thank you, Hugo Merchant. Everyone in the chat, if you get a gifted member from Sam or Hugo, give them a thumbs up, a big heart, one of the emoji things. That's another thing I need to do. I've talked to Kat about it a couple of times. I need to get some more emojis and things. I don't know how to, is emoji, where do they come from? I can't buy emojis at Tesco's, and the custom badges and all that. I've seen some other channels and there's like hundreds of them and I got like 4. And then you can get colored ones for how long you've been a member. So like every 6 months and things like that. Give people something special that, or not special, but there's some people out there it will mean something to them. Therefore, it's important to do if you can increase the peace, increase the love for some people. My brain. So you save emojis like PNGs, then add them to your set. See, so that's where you went wrong. Thinking that I know these words. Pings is not in the PNGs, is not in the dictionary, is it? And add them to settings. What do you mean settings? My Xbox settings? 2020 was bad for my mental health. It was bad for my mental health as well. But 40k got me through it. And people like you, Winters, on YouTube, after an 8-year break from this glorious hobby. Well, I'm glad you're in a better place. If I can drop back down into darkness again, and just on reflecting on the year, because you've brought it up. But I want to celebrate your success in reaching the other side, or maybe reaching a better place. At least. And Vanguard, member for 1 month. For some reason, it's telling me to send this message way after I joined. But yeah, thanks for your content, Winters. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to drop off just to close out the year. So I was talking to Mini War Gaming Dave on the phone the other day. That's how good my life is these days, by the way. I've got Mini War Gaming Dave's phone number. We can talk to each other. It's amazing. This is a guy that I was watching before I started my channel, one of the inspirations for my channel, and he came here to this house. It was amazing. And I went to Canada, and I'm going back to Canada if there are any planes flying in a couple of months' time when it's really frozen over. So there probably won't be any planes flying just for a couple of days, just to record some stuff and hang out with Dave. And I was talking to him because I can't just turn up on your doorstep like, hi, let me in. He was like, I want to do a video, want to talk about this, want to talk about that. And we started talking about the year and 40k. And I said, I still like playing the game. I've played so many versions of 40k right now that I think 9th edition isn't a good edition. But I want to play with my toy soldiers. I want to play with the 13th. I want to play with my new Necron dynasty. I want to play with these things because I get to see stories unfold on the battlefield, even when it goes horribly wrong. That's the story it told. And it's another way of engaging in 40k, along with the books, along with all the great audio stuff and things. And Boyek, thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, 2023. When new codex is going to be released, Ultramarines and the rest of the Space Marines continue crushing luck. I don't know. I think 10th edition is 6 months away, and I don't know if the leak about the Ultramarines and the other upgrade chapters that haven't had their... I don't know if that's going to happen before the end of this edition, or it'll happen at the time of the launch of 10th edition and be bigger than we think it is. It'll cut through a lot of stuff. So I'd say minimum 3, probably 6, might be 9. So where was I? Yes, so we was looking back at the year with Mini Wargaming Dave. And I realized that in talking with him that just how much and how important and how lucky I am. And down to you, down to your contributions, down to you watching the videos, So I really wanted to get on before Christmas, because some of you, this is I mean, I really wanted to get on before Christmas to tell some of you that who this might connect with. So this might not connect with 99% of you, but to the one person it connects with out there, it connects with. So it's important for me to say, so I'm going to say it. So strap yourselves in if you don't want to get the mental health conversation, because I'm going to go deep here, or stop watching if you're watching this after the fact. But let's go deep, and then because I want to get it out at the end of 2022, and that's why I'm here, and I think it might help someone. So I was having a conversation with Mini Wargaming Dave about the year, and it brought into focus some important questions and some important thoughts in my mind, particularly as when I'm going over to see him in a couple of months' time. We're thinking about making a different kind of video together. And I know I'm talking to some of you out there, that sometimes you get to places in your life that are really dark. So dark that all you're thinking about is not being here anymore. You can't ever imagine a child getting to places like that. Children just run around, and dogs run around, and sheep run around. But humans, we've got this weird brain going on where the place you're in can become so overwhelming. It's a horrible place to be. And it occurred to me after my conversation with Mini Wargaming Dave that I remember that feeling now. So, thank you for helping me get through this. Thank you for lifting me through this, everyone. I feel like thousands and thousands of hands have held me aloft through my darkest days. Thank you. And if you're in a place where I was, then all you need to know, the first thing you have to realize is it's okay not to be okay. And it has to be a mental process where you tell yourself it's okay not to be okay because you don't trust your feelings anymore. It's okay not to be okay. And then you can talk about it. And here's the hardest thing. It's okay to like yourself. And that I'm still struggling with. But one of the things that helped me when I was struggling to like myself so much, and one of the things that might help you if you're in a dark place, is there are still people around you holding you up. I'm amazed she's still here after the hell I put her through, and I'm amazed many of you are still here. But I remember a time when things were different for me, and you can hold on. It's okay not to be okay. And just start talking about it. You got to ride out that process. You got to let it take time. Just let it take time. You're sick. Your body's sick. Your mind's sick, and your body's aching because of the sickness. But you can get through. If I can get through, and I'm a fucking idiot, you can get through. I won't promise you that you'll get to a golden garden, glorious place. I don't think it works like that. You'll be out of the dark. You can breathe. And you can start to like yourself a little bit. Or at least like the bits that the other people like. Maybe. So, at the end of 2022, and the reason why I wanted to get on before Christmas was that conversation I had with Mini Wargaming Dave yesterday triggered that in me, and I wanted to say thank you to you and express how much I mean that thanks. Thank you for being one of the thousands of hands that has held me up over the last couple of years. I'm just so lucky. Right, someone drop a penis joke and let's move on to 40k. We've just been done the boarding actions thing. We're done. Okay, where are we? Love you, man. Proper hobbit. Yes, I am. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe what you didn't want just before Christmas, but I had to say it. Thank you for all being here. Let's talk about 40k. And then I also feel like as well, by nailing that down at the end of 22, I feel like I've done it now. I did that video like years back. Then I did an update one. And now I've done this one. And I'm like, okay, let's go to 2023. And it's going to be good. Warzone 2 is out. We're nailing it. Me and the boys are on tonight, I think. Brap, I see you in the chat. Me might have already gone. Monkey, I've seen you in the chat. I'll see you in the Warzone tonight. And Sultan, I know you're off. And we've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. Someone nudged Sultan that I want to be able to stream Warzone to you guys, because he used to stream Warzone. Because we're terrible, but we talk 40k all the way through it. And I like listening to some of the podcasts in Warzone. Some people, not podcasts, just in the background when I'm painting sometimes, because of the guys and girls who are chatting, because of the personalities. And I guess I appreciate some personalities on YouTube. Shocker, just like you guys appreciate some it's so and I listen to a little bit of it, and I think as for war gamers inside Warzone, if you're into Warzone, I think it's golden stuff myself. But he's not streaming it anymore. Anyway, Pokim, where are I? Grateful to you, bod. Onwards and upwards. Thank you. Benjamin Dustin, do we know when the boarding actions box is releasing? Some of us do, and some of us can't say. Hugh Tyndall, what's big and long and thick and something every guardsman wish they had? Sausage? Like the video, guys. Say, A Kirby. Yes, if everyone could spam some likes. And basilisk support. Oh, what's big and long and thick and has something every guardsman and something every guardsman wish they had? Basilisk support. That's great. That's really great. Yeah. So do you understand the Arcs of Omen thing and the boarding actions thing? Hopefully, I got that across. Hopefully, some people are still with me. I wanted to say thank you. What else? So yeah, there's boarding actions, then there's the other one. There's guard, and someone asked about the guard. Will the guard be coming? And I think I got sidetracked. Well, yes. Yeah, I was trying to answer the guard one and saying that, well, then I did the Necrons, and then I was doing Emperor's Children and Horus Heresy. So because of that and that, the guard are way down the list of I am but one man. So, have you talked about the new detachment? Yes, I have. It's just another new detachment in another rule set that you may or may wish to want to play. And in the main rules in 10th edition, they should make it very clear in the main rules that here's one way to play match play. So it's the old Eternal War missions. Here's another way to play match play. There is Maelstrom of War missions. Here's another way of playing match play. Tempest of War missions. Here's another way of playing match play. Tournament edition. And if they make it clear in a match play section, big paragraph, top of match play, this is match play, here's the restrictions in match play, and here's some examples of the many ways to play match play, that when they add stuff on every 6 months in the future, the message is very clear from everyone in the hobby, like, oh, okay, those are just more ways to play match play. So you've got the 4 or 5 ways to play match play in the main rule book, and then there's a 6th and a 7th and an 8th, and that's the new detachments. It's another way to play match play. It's just that they aren't good at communicating that. You're welcome. What else? You should join the kin. No. If you haven't watched his method, I wish you well, Winters. Yes, thank you, Four Pillars Gaming. Dark Mechanicum, thoughts, please, Hugh. Well, we've got that guy, the new demon guy, who's the AdMech demon guy. He's the chaos god of the mad scientist, of the person who prays to the machine, of the machine spirit in its spiritual sense, not in its other sense, of the scientist who looked at what he could do rather than thinking about what he should do, the guy who mixed anthrax with smallpox. It's that god brewing in the warp, and the more technologically advanced all civilizations become, the greater he becomes. And all of the other 4 gods all need him in their war. He's definitely a new rival for the Chaos Gods. So Bad Mechs, surely it's coming. That's my thoughts on Bad Mech. They've put the ball on the tee. Next year or whenever, they're going to knock that one out of the park. And if they don't screw up 10th edition too much, and if they trim those codexes right backs or release a index. I don't think we're going to get indexes. I think we're going to get trimmed. Brap, you've been a member for 13 months, tier 3. 13 months, sheesh. Brap, you're one of my oldest, one of my first. And I love your membership. Excited for Warzone later, and I'm going to lock down, coming down to play in February and lay the smackdown on your ass. Are you coming down in February? Did we actually get that on the calendar? I've got Dark Angels Chris on the calendar. You need to tell me a date, Brap. Are you still in his house? Where's my pen? Yes, I've got a new calendar. Where are we, Brap? Not yet. Oh, thanks, Brap. Okay, so you haven't got permission yet, is what you want to say. I miss you too. I'll see you at King in the North at the end of January. 1,200 points, yeah? 3 1,200 point games. Scott Stanley, with 10th not far off, I'm not sure about getting the new World Eaters Codex in case 10th is a completely reset. Yeah, I think the rumours that we've heard about the World Eaters Codex will be true, and the fact that it's completely trimmed down. And I hope that we're going to get a FAQ or a something which trims down all the codexes. Update book, maybe not index, maybe something like an index. I mean, books that come out that, so you get your codex and you got to get this other book which tells you what's not in the, no, I don't know how they're going to do it. Stephen, welcome to the 13th tier 1. Thank you for showing your support, Stephen, by becoming a tier 1 channel member. You'll get your badges, your emojis for that. If you want the extra videos and the extra Discord, then become a tier 3 channel member, or you can support by buying merch. I haven't put on any merch today, but thank you for the one person who bought a t-shirt between this stream and last stream. My hats off to you, sir, metaphorically. 1250, thanks, Brap. So it's 3 1250 points games, King of the North. Looking forward to that one. Did Mini Wargamer Dave give you the scoop on the cinematic battle report with Goober Town Minis, Big D? Yes, he did. And more than that, when I was out in Canada this year with him, he told me he didn't know who he had in line to do it with, but we did discuss the whole thing. There's some, I'm tight with the boys. Us YouTubers know things about other YouTubers. Did you know that Mikey Hellstorm has not one but two Bengali tigers. He holds them like Mike Tyson of old, man. He's got a big 3 acres out back. He's got two Bengali tigers. Mikey, Hellstorm Mikey, is the G, yo. Where are we? Do you think 10 will be more like heresy, like the older editions pre-8th? No, I don't think 10 will be more like heresy. I don't. I think 10th will be based on the 8th, 9th core rule set, but I suspect that they're going to make some morale changes. I suspect that there's been 3 editions of Warhammer 40k. 1st and 2nd, 3rd through 7th, 8th and 9th. Each edition, 1st, 2nd added to 1st. Each edition of 3rd to 7th added, and then they trimmed a bit, but they added more. They got bigger. For example, Horus Heresy 2.0 is bigger than Horus Heresy 1.0. It's grown. Rules writers love adding rules, and they're very bad at taking them away. So I think it's going to be 10th edition is going to be a version of 8th or 9th edition. I don't think it's going to be a full reset. I think the thing that we're going to see reset is the complexity of the codexes, and I think that from the leaks about the World Eaters Codex. In there, there's supposed to only be 8 stratagems, 3 warlord traits, 3 relics, and no psychic powers and no sub-factions, and I think that that is great. If I got my Space Marine Codex and there were 8 stratagems, 3 warlord traits, 3 relics, 1 psychic tree with 3 powers, you don't even have to have a chaplain tree. See, the chaplains can do what chaplains do. Used to do. Reroll hits, just leave it like that. You could trim the rules back so that they are much more streamlined, and in the main rulebook you can put 8 core stratagems. Like, everyone can fall back and shoot for 1 stratagem. Everyone can have +1 to hit for 1 and put them in the main rulebook, because everyone's got them in their things anyway. So that's what I think we're going to see in the main rulebook, and I think we're going to see the codexes trim right down to make the edition as accessible as it can be, because 9th edition has been the least accessible edition since the end of 7th. So that's what they're going to do. And with more news about our Lord and Saviour Henry coming on board, with more news of the Eisenhorn TV series no doubt being linked next year, and with Space Marine 2 coming out off the back of Dark Tide, which by all respects appears to be a very good game, and along with some significant lore changes, because at the end of the Horus Heresy, there is going to be questions about the Yellow King. There is another primarch coming back. They hope to use... See, it's interesting. In the old days, they made miniatures, and the narrative was spawned out of the miniatures they made. But now the narrative, the IP, is so big that they've got a whole new model range, the Horus Heresy, off the 2.0 rule set, in plastic, flooding out of their factory, because now the narrative is giving birth to the miniatures. Because the narrative, the IP, is more valuable, and most people watch lore videos and hobby videos, and it's much more powerful. So they've realized that it's taken them years, and they're going to try and utilize the love for the hobby and the love for the lore and the end of the heresy and the revolutions that are to come over the next year, and make it as accessible as possible to get people flooding back to the hobby like they did at the start of 8th, and hopefully ride a wave all the way up to Henry Cavill, and whoosh, off we go. That's what they're dreaming of. That's what they hope Santa brings them for Christmas. But I'm telling you now, and this will not be a newsflash to many of you, that they're going to fuck up big along the way. But so long as the general momentum, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and maybe 3 steps forward, 1 step back, so long as the general momentum is generally in the right direction, and I believe they believe that, then, yeah, the hobby's only going to get bigger, hopefully. So that's what I think of 10th edition, and I think that's the reset. If it doesn't work, then they can pull the nuclear option. If 10th isn't what they want it to be in the sense of bringing new people into the hobby, you can make a tournament edition as tournament-y as you want it to be. You can make an edition as competitive as you want it to be. But if it's too competitive, like if I went into Counter-Strike lobbies after however long that community's been around, or Apex Legends is a good example of, I mean, people are just so good in that game. You want a environment where the RNG is so high that happy noobs are happy to trample around in it. It needs to be accessible. Because you could always go to your local hobby store and get stomped. But right now, so that's what they're hoping. And then if 10th edition doesn't redress that, they'll get the figures by the first 6 to 12 months of 10th edition. And they'll make decisions in that 6 to 12 month period. And then 11th edition, if it is a nuclear reset, which will be, it's a new rule set. And they'll probably at that point tie in the Horus heresy rule set as well. Because, I mean, that seems like a no-brainer to me. If Horus heresy and Warhammer 40k had the same core rule set, the same core rules, you could jump from one to the other. The way they could diverge, though, is in their codexes. So you can have codexes in Warhammer 40k that can have 28 wounds and 4+ invulnerable saves and all the 40k stuff that you got 40k. And you can have codexes in 30k that have hull points and damage tables and and it says at the back of the codex what the expanded rules are. Hey, in this one, in the morale phase, follow the morale phase through this step instead. And you can have fallback, blinding, pinning, and all that in a combined morale phase. There's things you can do to combine the two rule sets together and still make them play completely differently, because one base mission set, the 40k mission set, has less RNG moments in it. It is a tighter rule set. If you roll a 6 and explode, you can spend a CP and re-roll that. In Horus Heresy, if you fail that save, that strength 8 hit on your commander, and you roll a 1 and he's got a 2-up save, he's instant death. He's gone. That's your warlord. That's D3 points. And you're talking about a game where people might only score 2 or 3 points. He's gone from a strength 8 hit. You rolled a 1. There's no CP re-rolling that. You've got a core rule system, and then you've got a subset of rules called 40k where the edges of that system are rounded off, and that makes it more competitive. And from that system you can have your tournament pack, and from that system you can have your competitive casual pack. On the other side, you've got Horus Heresy codexes, and it shouldn't be called Horus Heresy codexes. It should be called historical codexes. You start off with the Horus Heresy and their codexes in there, but you can expand to the Beast Arises and codexes in there. You can expand to the Fall of Cadia and codexes in Fall of Cadia. So elves and orcs and other space Xenos dirty bastards get in there as well. You can do the first Tyrannic Wars, and you have Warhammer 40k historical, all bound around the same rule set. But in the codexes for Horus Heresy rule set, it's got, here's how we do armor in this, and here's how we do it in that. And it's just a couple of additional extra pages bound around the same rules. And you could do that in the first Tyrannic Wars, bound around the same rules. And you've got a massive aftermarket for all the old sculpt stuff and all firstborn stuff and first generation Eldar and Rogue Trader, and you can support that with a living rule system that's bound around the same core rules as 40k. That's the nuclear option. That's the best option Games Workshop could ever make for their game. The core rule set is accessible and it's easy, and you can play with just the data sheets that come in these boxes here. You just play with a data sheet. You don't even need a codex. That's open play. If you want to play match play, then in the main rulebook, it tells you you can play Maelstrom of War, you can play Tempest of War, you can play match play, competitive play, and you can play this. And in the match play, there are certain restrictions. No more than to hit +or -1 things like that. The maximum amount of mortal wounds that you can take in any phase for any unit is 6. You can only play the insane bravery strat once, and in their match play it lists the match play exceptions for those match play. And then in the tournament pack it says, hey, can I introduce you to my friend Actions? Hey, this is Actions. This is a rule that I'm going to engage with, and it doesn't matter what you do. It's like you're not there. You fight me, I fight you. Oh no, here's my friend the rule. I'm going to put this rule there and get 10 points and there's nothing you can do about it. Isn't that a good rule? Where I just interact with the rules, not with you, my friend, my lover, my Warhammer 40k buddy. Great rule. Put them in the tournament pack along with secondaries and all that other shit. I mean, you can keep secondaries in the main pack as well for like killing the warlord, first strike. Those are nice ones. Everyone likes them. They're very easy. And then you have your narrative section, and there's Horus heresy in that with the narrative exceptions that you have playing with those codexes. It's that's what I would like to see them do. I think that would be the most accessible way for people to get into the hobby. You get in following just the data sheets and follow the main rules. And then you think, well, I might want to go down that match play route. Here's all the match play games in the main codex. Or I might want to go down that narrative route. Here's some narrative stuff in the main book. And it points you in the directions you want to go. And in the match play section, it's pointing you towards tournaments or pointing you towards casual. And in the narrative section, it's pointing you towards making up your own crap, their crusade crap, or Horus heresy, or the First Tyrannic Wars, stuff like that. And it goes down, and it's down to how casual you want to be with your thing. That's how you do it. John Battle, member for 4 months. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Winters. Wish everyone the best of the season. Me too. Hashtag. Thank you. Love you. Thank you. Lee Anderson, welcome to the 13th Tier 3. Oh, wow. Thank you for becoming a Tier 3 channel member. Access to all the videos. All of Necromunda Season 1, Season 2 is now on the... for channel members at Tier 3. So if you've ever been interested in Necromunda before, or even want to think, hey, what is that all about? Well, you can now binge watch all 2 seasons. And I think when we hit the comedy high notes in that Necromunda season, because there's a load of lads in the room, I think those comedy high moments are some of the highest comedy high moments that I've been able to film. There was certainly a lot of hard editing while filming the Necromunda Season 1 and Season 2. If they released a plastic Warlord Titan, would you get one? No, I'd get 3. Come on now. Plastic Warlord Titan. I've got the Adeptus Titanicus plastic Warlord Titan because they released a plastic Warlord Titan. So it's like, I got to get that. It's a plastic Warlord Titan. And then I got a Reaver Titan and a Warhound, and then painted them the same colours as my big Reaver and Warhound. And she said I am allowed a Warhound Titan. She said I am allowed, but I painted my other 2 Titans, which means I have to paint the Warlord Titan. And I remember how long it took me a month to assemble and paint the Reaver Titan, because there's just so much of it. And you've got to, when you ever get Forge World or any resin from any supplier, when you get it, always wear a mask and always put it in the sink and scrub it down with a toothbrush or with a thumbnail and some soapy water. Just give it a good scrub down and let it dry out before you start cutting that bitch. And when you do, make sure that if you're using a saw or anything that lets off any, you should wear the goggles. And Sultan got a bit of that crap in his eye once. I don't know if it was from a Forge World bit or something else, but he ended up in EA for like 6 hours just waiting for a nurse to pick it out. Yeah, that happens. So whenever with resin, and it took me a month for the Reaver Titan. So I really want one in plastic, or 3. If they released a plastic, yeah, I answered that. That was the last question. I think we're therefore coming to a natural lull. Is this how long have I been going for? I don't even know what time I started. Or is there anything else that other people want to talk to me? People are messaging me. Oh, that's Brap. All right, he did send me. Cod and chips. Cod, right, yeah. Any more? Winters, what would you be or a wasp? You know, Brap, I used to work at the keyboard factory, but they fired me because I kept missing shifts. A DH painting. It took me nearly a week to wash the resin for my warlord. Lol, there was so much resin to get through. Novashni. Monkey, how many kills will you get later in Warzone? More than you. Drop the mic. Garrett Ward, how does one participate in the Hobby Apocalypse? Become a member of the Deployment Zone. Join www.deploymentzone.tv. You get all my extra videos and you join the Deployment Zone community. And they're a lovely bunch of fellas too. And fellas and ladies. All of those. When is Say Hi Paul back on the channel, Sleepy Slack? Say Hi Paul has his own YouTube channel now called Say Hi Paul. Drop a like, subscribe, see Say Hi Paul for his Hi Paul stuff. Because of that, we don't get to play with each other as much. But I did one recently, and it is over on Say Hi Paul's, well, about 6 months ago, and it is over on Say Hi Paul's channel. John McCardle gifted 20 memberships, dropping it's like it's hot. Thank you so much, John. Happy Christmas to you and all your family. If you get a gifted membership from John, give him a big hug. But thank you. Top predictions for 10th, Robert White. I think I just smashed out a bunch of stuff for 10th in that last speech. Any more predictions for 10th? I hope they use the lore to move the story. Because the return of the Silent King should be momentous. The return of a Primarch or Angron should be momentous. But more than that, the effect of the arcs of omen on the Imperium should be felt. And we also need some wins for the good guys, because it's looking even grimmer in the dark. I mean, come on, if Dante, obviously Dante and Azrael and all those other fine cast models are going to cross the Rubicon, and they're probably all going to do it in 10th edition. So if we're getting new Marine miniatures, and it's a new edition, so guess what we're going to get? Yes, new Chaos Cultist miniatures. No! New Space Marine miniatures. And they'll all get their Primarchified stuff. Then we need a win for the good guys as well. So let's give the boys from Baal something heroic to do, huh? Particularly as they're stuck in Imperium Nihilus. And you could bring in the Emperor's Spears. And if you haven't read the Emperor's Spears from ADB, Aaron Dembski-Bowden, then get that book. It's the Emperor's Spears is a chapter of Space Marines on the other side of Imperium Nihilus, and no one knows if they're dead or not. So they try and find out across the Great Rift. And so what's it like? It answers the question, which is, what's it like to be a Space Marine chapter which used to have sway over many, many systems and could go wherever they want to, which now can't see the light of the Astronomicon. So they're essentially pinned in their own system, and maybe a couple of local systems that they can see. And that's it. And it answers that question with aplomb. And I highly recommend it. And anything written by Aaron Dembski-Bowden. Yeah, if you get a membership from John, make sure you give him the love. If you want to accept memberships, there's some button you have to press. Someone will say something. I want to share that after almost a year of playing, I finally won my first 2,000-point game, Sisters v Marines. Wow. A year of playing, you won your... Well, thank you for persisting for a whole year of playing before winning your first game. Screw you, because honestly, your friends or someone at the club or someone should have really helped you win more. Help you win, pull you, kicking and screaming to the levels of godhood. Those of us that can win, but not just win the coveted, the only 2022 winner of the SN No Retreat Legend of Legends Award, Winter's SEO. I try not to mention it too much. You've got to be humble. I'll tell them to go hard on me, Lo. You tell them to go hard on you. Okay, so it's good. Actually, it's a good training exercise to be, oh, go hard on me. You want the best out of your opponent that you can to learn the most out of your opponent, but not when starting the game. If I'm starting to learn tennis, I don't want Federer or one of them. Is it Federer? Is he still playing? I don't want him to go, okay, go as hard as you can. You don't want that. You don't want that, okay? You're about to practice. You're a novitiate. You haven't even got your black carapace in yet. You're settling into your first genealogical transformations as a space marine. You're almost there. And Grandmaster Drago stands in front of you and says, I'm going to go hard at you. It's not where you want to... That's later. For your fundamentals, though, you want them to go easy. You want them to tell you, coach you, bring you upwards, bring you towards the light. Where winners stand. Winners. I got back into the hobby after watching too many Luton and Winters videos. Luton is the G, yo. I love that man. 3 years later, I've amassed about 5,500 points of Raven Guard and have been a DZTV member for 2 years. My wallet hates you. I love you, though, and thank you for raising me up and helping me out and giving me this wonderful life I lead, which is sharing the hobby with you guys. Where are we? If the Lion awakens, what will he think about the state of the Imperium now? Well, he'll probably think the same things that Guilliman thinks, which is, hey, this sucks. But you know what? Those two, they've always got along, right? Two brother primarchs faced with an overwhelming energy. Energy? Well, that works. Enemy. But if you think only in twos, I think you're mistaken. What about the Yellow King? Thanks, John. You're a legend. Thanks, John. Gift thanking John. That's good stuff. We must thank John. Without John, there would be not so many gifted memberships. I love you, John. Any more questions, or are we dipping? I think I've now smashed 10th out the park. We talked about heresy quite a bit. Talked about my feelings. And I'm letting you know, unless I shine at it with, I'm not going to anymore. I think I'm trying to draw a line. Ruler, $4.99. Cheers. Oh, thanks, Cerulia. Yeah, no, cheers to you too. But if you've won your first one now, Brapscallion, you need to get aim training for later. Is that it? I do. What? Do I? Not. Brap, come on now. Brap, we're talking the war zone. There is a beast that stalks Al Mazrah, and they call him Winter's SEO, and they scream when they see him coming. Lord Cypher, Liminarus must come back, the executioner of the Emperor. Listen, I did it in a video, I think, a live stream where I said it's bigger than you think. This is what is going to happen over the next few years. After the end of the Horus heresy, there will be some attachment books that writers just want to write and the audience calls for, which will be the Iron Cage or will be what happened over here. Some of them might be in novellas, and many of them probably will be in novellas. But the people who really want to read them will read them. And there could be a bit more after the heresy, but what they're doing with the Black Library writers and what they're doing with what they're teasing and building towards is the return of... They found out that primarchs sell. They sell really well. Horus heresy it wasn't a thing, now it's a thing. And now you've got Guilliman and Angron, and they're all coming back. Or almost all of them. Sorry, Ferris. But they're all coming back. I don't know how quickly. I suspect it's going to be over about 15 years. They've found out that the Horus heresy sells. So let's have a great rift. Let's have Abaddon's plan be the herald of the returning of. This could be a thing in years to come as the Avengers assemble and Angron unlocks the key to the other MacGuffin, which does the key, and eventually when they want to drop the nuke, here we go, Horus reborn, everyone's getting a t-shirt, meet me in the bar afterwards, half the internet hates it, but the Black Library authors are on board as well, and Henry's doing his thing, okay, he's out there, and Hugh Jackman's done a Broadway hit show about it, where he's with his claws in the air, and that sort of thing. Luton is behind the scenes directing Hollywood movies along with Mini Wargaming Dave and someone else, because they got to know Henry from the inside. And you'll be playing Warhammer 40k or answering Warhammer 40k questions from your friends, because there's many people in your friends list and in your life that will be talking about Warhammer 40k around you all the time. Or Warhammer, you'll be in the shop, you'll be in the hospital, you'll be on the bog, and you'll hear the person and the next one on the phone going, hey, yeah, did you see that thing with what? And people will talk to you about it, and you'll be like, this is my moment, we're free, he lifts us. Henry Cavill, blessed, the Emperor of mankind lives among us today. It is Henry Cavill, don't you understand? We know that the Emperor of mankind was born many thousands of years BC, and we know that he ascends to the golden throne in 30,000 years change in the future, but he lives amongst us now, and he is Henry Cavill, and he will lift you to the light. Your world will change. You'll hear people talking about 40k in the shops and things. You'll have questions from your sister, from your mother, from your brother. Oh, you play that game, don't you? Your world's about to change. We step out of the darkness. We step into the light, and we are brought there by the Emperor of mankind, Henry Cavill. God bless him. Emperor bless him. I mean, no one else heard of that? What is the thing? No one else? Good times, Lord Cypher. Thanks. Good times. I'm a bit excited about it. You should watch, if anyone's interested to see someone really excited about it, go and watch Mini Wargaming's Dave's video reaction to the Henry Cavill news. Again, a pillar of our community, someone who believes in the community so much. He cries in the video, man. Henry Cavill is like... Sorry, not Henry Cavill. My mind's stuck on Henry. I once told Kasha, hey, there's this guy wants to come around and play Warhammer 40k. Who is it? Henry Cavill. Yeah! No, something like, we were joking once, so she's quite happy to have him here. Anyway, Mini Wargaming Dave cried, and to show that, and it was just an expression of the passion that he has in us, that he has in you, that he has in the Warhammer 40k community. And yeah, I guess we're passionate about it. Go back to the replies I gave moments before about being passionate. I'm waiting for almost 29 years for Lehman's return. I'm sure it'll come at some point. Can you say sanguinary? I can't say sanguinary. Robert Saction. 30 years waiting for this on TV or big screen. I don't know which way it'll come, but it's going to be good. Henry Cavill's got production rights. So that means as a fan, they can't... It will be as true to the IP as it can be. New Primaris Terminators or new Model Firstborn Terminators. No, what they'll have is new Primaris Squad X, like Blade Guard. So they call them Blade Knights. I don't know. Okay, so they'll have a new squad. Primaris Blade Knights. And there'll be Gravis Terminators, which fill the Primaris Terminator slot. That's what they'll be. Amazon have made some great stuff. And with Henry behind it, I'm so excited. Big D, it's on Amazon like the Lord of the Rings series. Let's please stay away from any social issues before this chat blows up. Let's keep it on the hobby. Let's just say that some studios make good stuff and bad stuff, and other studios make good stuff and bad stuff. I mean, regardless, I liked Reacher on Amazon. That was really good. the terminal list. That was really good. Did Amazon also do The Boys? Is Amazon The Boys or Netflix The Boys? But The Boys is really good. Yeah. So, you know, I think it comes down to the studio. Amazon just buys this crap, right? And sometimes they fund crap. So you get loads of these networks, Disney and Amazon and Netflix and whoever the hell, funding stuff. Like Stranger Things is a Netflix funded thing, I think. And that's like one of the best TV experiences, particularly the last season was just epic. I really liked Stranger Things. My wife's watched it a million times over. I've watched it a couple of times over. I mean, Breaking Bad was epic as well. I don't know who did that one. And sometimes they just buy studios craps. So some people are going to love some of the new releases and some people are going to hate some of the new releases. And some people looking at certain TV shows will put a lot of politics into it, and some people will put a lot of opposite politics into it. And some people will put a lot of social issues, and some people won't put a lot of social issues. And some people will love some, and some people it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters that we support other people's thinking and a right to do whatever the fuck you want to do and believe what you want to believe, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. Come on now. So whenever anyone puts an idea down about something they love or hate, then what you can do is only put down the love. Only put down the stuff that you love. You can increase the amount of hate. You can write that thing, but don't increase the amount of love. You have that choice. And if everyone used that choice, and I believe most people on the internet do, but we're pulled down by the haters, man. There's always those haters, and it's infectious. But most people on YouTube, I hope, or enough of us at least, just pour on the love. And I appreciate the love and support that you've given me over 2022. I'm looking forward to a 2023. Yeah. Thank you for your love. I certainly felt it over the last couple of years. I'm looking forward to playing some more Heresy. I'm looking forward to getting out there in the community. Looking forward to going to see Dave in February. Looking forward to seeing you, Brap. And hopefully, I'm looking forward to 10th, but I'm also looking forward to this explosion that could happen through the end of 9th. And if they don't make it explode, I'll try. Well, I won't, but I'll just keep doing what I do and riding my own personal wave of enjoyment because I enjoy this hobby. But yeah, fill the internet full of love, people. If you can, if you have the choice, you got to be a good guy because there's way too many of the bad. So, where would we be without the Eldar? Yes, exactly. You can hate the Eldar. That's allowed. Rise above and have a nice love salad. Thank you, Brap Scallion. And on those words, on that bombshell, we will shut down tonight's stream. Thank you, everyone who's popped by. Thank you to the thousands of people who watch this after the event. Thank you for the likes, for the new members. I love a member. And thank you for any super chats that you might have donated. Stay tuned for a Christmas special on Sunday. I think Sunday's Christmas, can't remember. That's when my latest storytime video is going up. My latest storytime video, which goes up on Christmas Day, is called Ambush, and it's about the 13th and the word bearers and some demons, and it follows behind the scenes some of the story to a recent couple of battle reports that I've had with Gitsnik the Great and Imperiax. And it's good. And it's about 30 minutes long, and hopefully you'll enjoy it while you're painting something. Maybe if you get a half hour over Christmas or the next day or the next day. But until then, have fun, enjoy the hobby, increase the peace. I love you all, and happy wargaming. Reed Gardner, you didn't just miss it. Just if you're still here, is there something I can help you with? And then we'll go, okay? But if you're not here, I'll go. So I should start a clock or something. But if you're, because I don't want to let anyone down. Not at Christmas time. This is my Christmas gift to you. If you're still in the chat, Reed Gardner. He's not in the chat, is he? He's in the chat. I don't know who's in the chat right now, but Reed Gardner's definitely not. He's still here. He's still here. There's a twist. There's a twist in this story of woe. Look at that. He's still here. He's wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Well, Reed Gardner, Merry Christmas to you too. Okay? Merry Christmas to you too. And thank you for wishing me a Merry Christmas. Be good to each other. Increase the peace. Increase the love. And thank you very much and happy wargaming. One minute, I'm back. Reed Gardner has just become a tier 3 channel member. Thank you, Reed. That's a really nice Christmas present. I'll catch you in the Discord. That unlocked all of Necromunda Season 2 is now there. Plus the Silver Cage. Plus the Veltol's whole narrative campaigns that you can binge watch and laugh along with us. So thank you. Right. Merry Christmas all. Happy wargaming. Jeremy, have you been here all along, or is this... What is going on? Surely you've been here all along, right? This is some elaborate joke. It can't be that you've just dropped in to a Christmas live stream and said, yay, winter live stream, as I was tidying up around me, letting it roll down, because there's something with the memory, you can't shut it down straight away. Like, I don't know, but you just came here. Jeremy, you just came here. We've tried to finish a couple of times. Let me tell you the situation, Jeremy, Neely. We've tried to leave a couple of times now, so I'm sorry to say to you that you've missed the Winter's SEO live stream. We're actually not here anymore. But because it's Christmas, if you have a question or something you'd like to say to us, because there's still 57 people here, I don't know why. And then we can shut it down for the third time. But thank you for joining us, and Merry Christmas to you, Jeremy. I'm pleased that you're here, but we were just going. So, okay, it's all good, he says. I hope you have a good day. Oh, that's fine. Then maybe you were just here to chat. I'm sorry you missed the chat. Okay. So yes, thank you. Merry Christmas and happy wargaming. No, Stephen. I don't have any narrative events planned for 2023. Going to King in the North. I don't have any in the I'm going to Weekend at Bernie's, and I'm thinking about running one in the May-June time. So we shall see. but it's still a long way into the future. The last couple of years I've ran a narrative event, and they've been dramatically under not very many people, you know. Like Weekend at Bernie's had 60 in the first year, and I had like 30. And then the next year around, he had like 90, and I had 40. It's not a lot of people want to come to them. I think it's probably because of the other events that people are used to in the deployment zone. They happen around the same time, and much of my core OG support comes from deployment zone. So yeah. But Winter's SEO does want to run a narrative event, normally a weekender. And my narrative events, I like to say, my narrative events are like the best narrative events ever. They were great last time. I was walking into the room in the middle of people's, whatever turn you're on, that forge world in the distance that you can see on the horizon there just went apocalyptic, and a huge mushroom cloud blasts across all of your tables. I don't care what turn you're on, I don't care what round you're on, and I don't care if you're a toughness 3 Eldar or a toughness 100 Titan. Everything's -1 toughness. Yes, Eldar, you're down to toughness 2. Everything's -1 toughness for the rest of this game. And introducing events like that in the middle of a narrative event, I think really helped tie the room together. Hearing the cheers and the groans, it made my day. So can we go now? I just did that. Stephen, it's over. No, you asked the question, didn't you? Thanks for the response. Have a good Christmas, New Year. Thank. Voodoo Fairy, I might come if I finished my sisters. You see, that's what happens. Everyone says they might come, but no one comes. Stephen got bullied by 30. Yeah, just wanted to pop in and say Ghost Lice 12. Just wanted to pop in and say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Winters. Well, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you too. Is that Ghost Lice? Ghost Ice 12. It looks like Ghost Lice, and you forgot to put the I in it, which would be cool. Ghost Lice, you know, like some secret alien thing that gets inside you and eats you from the inside out, so that you end up having noses where your eyes were and an eye right there instead. And it's, no depth perception because only one eye. Can we get a Hydra Dominatus for All Might? No, we can't. So that's it. I'm going to close now. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Happy Christmas. Happy Wargaming.